I see the Lost Druid is on. That's good news. Hey, can y'all hear me? Just let me know. Give me a little what's up if you can hear me. I'm waving at folks virtually. But if you can hear me, just say, yep, I can hear you. But if not, let me know. Please. Happy Thursday. Oh, Denise gives me the thumbs up. What's up, Denise? Miss Box 66 is here. Hello. How you doing? Happy Thursday, y'all. I am excited that you're here. This has been a crazy week. Like busy and in a good way, though. I appreciate being busy, but I had an impromptu outing last night, which also made me a little tired today, but actually not too bad. It wasn't the outing. I think it was the fact that I hadn't slept really good this week. I've been like struggling. New Precedence is here. Bitch Beer Podcast. What's up, Caroline? She was out with me last night. We had a great time for St. Patty's Day. Sandy Cap was there. And it was one of those impromptu, like, fun evenings. I wasn't even going to go out because I'm not a really, St. Patty's Day is not St. Patrick's Day. I'll say the right thing. It's not one of my go-to holidays. I mean, I'll hang out, but it's not one that I am so like pumped up about. So, and then on top of that, y'all were here. The weather was getting crazy, and I thought it was going to be like hurricanes or thunderstorms and tornadoes. I think they missed the forecast just a little bit, which is all good. But I was expecting a lot of rain, so I wasn't trying to go out at all. But we had an impromptu, last-minute, fun evening, and that might have made me a little extra tired. Put a little tired on top of the tired that I was already experiencing. So anyway, I'm happy to be here with y'all tonight. I am about to crack open my beer. I have two queued up this time because last time I ran out and I couldn't get up. I couldn't get up and leave the screen and and get another beer. Do me a favor while you are getting your beer. I am not in Glenwood Park. I never opened my craft beer business, New Precedence. So stay tuned for Atlanta Beer Boutique 2.0. In the bottom of your screen, there's like a little paper plane looking thing. Tap that and let your friends know that you are on live with me this evening. And we're going to get started in about 2 minutes. But I'm pouring up for myself Crazy Hoppy Cool, which is the Pink Boots beer that me and some other ladies brewed with Arches. It is a strawberry sorbet IPA. So I was talking to Justin, who's the brewer there at Arches, last night when I saw him out. And we, I think it's an amazing beer. He thought it was really good, too. He thought it was really, really good. But he was talking about the color, how it's not like a pretty color. And it's not. It's not gorgeous. But it kind of looks like peach preserve or strawberry jam. Because it has that much strawberry in it. It is loaded with strawberry. He just kept dumping stuff in and letting us be crazy and put funky stuff in there. We had oats in here, so it has a nice texture, but it doesn't have any lactose, which is why we're calling it sorbet and not a smoothie or a milkshake IPA, which I'm happy about because I think milkshake IPAs are getting a bit done. But this is amazing. Let me know in the comments what you're drinking. Hey, Robin. How you doing? Outdoor Gear and Beers here. Nick, if you are in Hateville, go by and get some of this from Arches. It's amazing, and it's gonna sell out. It's really good. Hey, SJ, y'all, let me know what you're drinking. Today we're talking about passion with two lady guests. As you know, I've been talking to ladies all March long because it is Women's History Month, and tonight I'm speaking with the owner of the Lost Druid, which is a brewery in Avondale. The owner's name is Stacia. And then after her, I'm speaking with Tracy Nicole, who is my friend I've known her for 30 years, guys. And we'll be talking about passion from her perspective as well. So since it's 7:05, I'm going to go ahead and invite Lost Druid up. Lost Druid, it says you are unable to join. I don't know why it would say that. Let's try this again. I'm going to try it one more time. It says unable to join. I don't know why it says that. Does anyone who knows something about Instagram Live know why it might say unable to join? I don't know. Stacia, I'm going to ask you to like close Instagram and open it back up again. I don't know. I don't know if that works. It's like starting the VCR over again. You know how you unplug stuff and plug it back in? Or how about Lost Druid, if you're still here, ask to join. So that would be, oh, my sister said log out. You mean like log totally out, Mick? I was saying, yeah, maybe she requests me. I can't tell her where that is because I have a different setup, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully Stacia can kind of log out and start back again. New Precedents asks, can I bring that restaurant to Conyers, see if they like to carry it? Would I bring that restaurant? Can you bring that a restaurant? Are you asking someone, if you know like where that is, where to join in the bottom? I think it will be, I can't tell because I'm doing the live. So if y'all who are in the live, okay, Denise says click at the top and it's somewhere. Oh, can I bring that beer to Conyers? So I'm not sure if it's going to be widely produced. This was just a small batch done for Pink Boots Day, Brew Day, Collaboration Brew Day. They create different hot blends every year, and then you get to brew with them, your ladies group. And so this particular beer was just brewed for that day. Now, if Arches loves it enough, maybe they'll make it a permanent beer, but that, you know, that's up to them. So that's how a beer would get to be distributed somewhere else. So yeah, we are trying to get Stacia on here. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know why it says that. Maybe it's not, your app isn't up to date. So Chanel says there's an arrow pointing down at the top. Tap that for the ask to join. You're welcome, New Precedents. Thanks to everybody trying to come together to help Stacia join. Oh, yay! It worked. Never seen that happen, literally. And I've been doing lives for a little bit, not a whole lot, but for a little while. And
so much for the laptop.
I've never seen, laptop. That's probably what it is.
Down with the laptop.
I don't know enough about to have helped you either. So I'm so glad we have people in here who at least knew where to tell you where to go. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I saw you were drinking some spectacular sounding beer. Say it again, because I didn't get to read all of it. What is that?
It's the Frozen Orchard, our apple pie a la mode tart beer.
Apple pie a la mode tart beer. And we talked about this. The fact that Lost Druid, so you may call this a sour, but Lost Druid, I feel like you guys do them a little less aggressively sour. And so you call it a tart instead of a sour. I think it's such a perfect description of it, of that style. And hopefully that will become a style, right? Like, is that a technical style yet at the BJCP?
No, it's not.
Maybe not.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, it is, probably would be still qualified as a sour, but it just doesn't give you that same punch,
which is good sometimes. Yeah.
My stomach can't handle a lot of the sours.
All that extra probiotics happening. Okay, let's introduce you to the people because we're talking already. Tell everybody who you are, where we might know you from, and and what you're drinking. You told us what you're drinking, so who you are and what you do.
Alrighty. So I am the co-founder of the Lost Druid Brewery in Avondale Estates. Complete career change for me. By education, I actually have a PhD in industrial and organizational psychology, which is a really long-winded title to basically say that I've worked in large corporations to work with a lot of leaders and executives around how do you manage performance within the organization? How do you hire the right talent? How do you develop them once they're there? And how do you
Wow.
think about succession planning of your leadership positions?
Hmm.
So after 20-ish years doing that, I told Rob, my husband, in 2014, like, I've got to do something different. I don't know what it is, but in 3 years, I'm doing something different.
Wow.
And who knew it was going to become building a brewery from the ground up? But
From the
that's what it was.
ground up.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, that is a total complete career change. So was Rob homebrewing
Yeah.
first? How long
Hmm.
has he been homebrewing?
So he had homebrewed for around 20 years.
Okay.
Um, when we had a house up in Johns Creek area, he had like his own room in the basement. Then when we sold that and downsized to a loft, he had a smaller unit that he could use in the kitchen. It was all electric his whole time, so we didn't have to worry about, gas situation.
Right.
And then as the looked like the law was going to change in Georgia in 2017, so that you could actually have a community focused establishment,
Mm-hmm.
we started to talk seriously about doing something.
Yeah.
And that's what we ended up doing.
That is so awesome. So the discussion today is about passion, and um, I wanted to talk about a few different things with you. I know that in order to start anything, no matter what it is, passion has to be at the heart of it. I saw a quote that I emailed out that Oprah, I love Oprah. Um, she said that passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. And when I read that, I really, really loved that. I love the way that she described focusing and how when you focus on what excites you, power comes from that. Um, and you and I had a discussion recently. I got a chance to come to the Lost Druid. First of all, someone in the comments commented on how beautiful the brewery is. It is so beautiful. It has so much daylight, which I'm a big fan of, like outdoor air, outdoor light, natural lighting. First of all, did you realize you were positioning it in that direction in order to get that much sunlight in there? Was that intentional? The design, the face of that building gets so much just brightness.
Yeah, so we're definitely very much about nature and the outdoors. And even when we go to look at purchasing a place for us to live in, I am all about how much natural light am I going to
Mm-hmm.
get? Because I just feel better
Mm-hmm.
in brightness,
I do
right? I mean,
too.
that's proven, right? It's all goes back to psychology and vitamin D, and if you think about chemistry. But um, a friend of ours actually designed the front of our building. Like,
Really?
the land kind of dictated what size it could be because of the
Okay.
shape of the land that I bought. But a friend of ours designed the front with all of the roll up doors and the big glass windows up above.
Yeah.
And it fits us, and it fits
Mm.
the druidness of what we're trying to do, because the druids were all about being within nature, respecting nature. So it all worked together for us in what we wanted to build.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are so it sounds like you have a passion for the outdoors, for nature, yeah, do you do a lot of hiking and camping? Are you like that nature? You like
Uh,
go kayaking and
well,
stuff?
we used to like to get out, go do a little bit of hiking,
Yeah.
ride bikes around
Okay.
town. Once we had moved into Atlanta proper, when we downsized. Um, it's been a while because we've kind of been all consumed by this place for the last 3.5 years.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so we don't get to do as much of it as we used to. Um, but it's still what we enjoy. Like, we moved up here from Florida because we weren't beach people. We were more mountain people, and
Okay.
looking at the variety of vegetation that you see here in Atlanta versus what you could see down in Florida, it
Mm.
just fits more with who we are.
Wow. Wow. I never knew that. I mean, I knew you were from Florida, but I always assume that people who are in Florida are beach people because I'm a beach person in a landlocked city, and
Yeah.
that's my getaway, but your getaway happened to be a place that has terrain and lots of variety. And I'd never even thought about the fact that Atlanta they call it the city in the forest. It is so green and beautiful, and it's really hard to not find a corner here and there that's just lush and that can envelop you in nature. I'm a huge fan of it. And it does something to me, and it creates, I think, energy within me. Being out in the sun, I go walking before I do these talks and just meditate and soak in nature. If it's raining or whatever, I don't care what the weather is. It's just a part of my process, and I love it. And I never really, I need to take more advantage of Georgia's beauty and Atlanta's beauty. We have some pretty stuff like right here, very, very local too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about passion as it relates to the brewery and how you arrived there. You and I had a talk. Oh, this is what I was talking earlier. I was going somewhere with that.
We're going.
I was at your brewery. It's a beautiful brewery. We were doing a homebrew day for International Women's Day. And Craft Women Connect brought ladies out there, and you and Rob treated us with some good old Southern hospitality and let us be so super involved and collaborative in that brewing process from beginning to end. It was so much fun. But you and I started talking about ownership and passion. And I made a confession, and you understood my confession. So I'm going to say that here, and then I want to talk about sort of the discussion that we had. I confessed that I love beer. I love craft beer. I love the way it tastes. I love learning all about it, but craft beer is not my passion. And that may surprise some people. My passion is actually people and community and building something that is sustainable and can be sustained, really no matter what the vehicle is. Beer happens to be the vehicle that I love and that connects me with more people so that I can do the thing that I like. And I think a lot of people they might be surprised if they heard that from me. And I was so surprised and felt like I had a sister in this sisterhood to hear that you had a similar sort of coming around to the beer world.
Beer's my passion.
Yeah.
And I even told you I'm not quite sure that I have a lot of passion. Well, because I'm like, why did you pick me for this topic? I don't know.
And I told you have to have a passion about something to go all the way in like you did. You had a very cushy life, I would imagine, with a 20-year history and a PhD in that amazing field you talked about. And I'm sure you had set hours. You didn't have to be at a brewery fixing a pump at 9 p.m. the night before some ladies are coming to brew beer. Yeah. So I said you had to have some kind of passion to dedicate yourself to that. But I was surprised to hear that you had a similar thing. Okay, I'll let you talk now.
Yeah, stop talking.
I'm sorry. I talk so much.
I've kind of said along the way, and there's some truth in this and some it's kind of a joke, is that Rob's passion is beer and bringing beer to people, and his creativity comes out in the variety of beers that we produce here. And my passion was to get out of the corporate world.
Yeah.
And so there is truth in that because, like I said, in 2014, I had told him, I'm out of here. I've got to do something different. Not knowing in 2014 that it would be this. I mean, I was going to go wait tables. I didn't care. I just knew that me personally, I needed to go and do something different because I was getting burnt out. And I think, as since we had talked last week, I think what my passion is twofold. Doing. I'm a doer. I like to get stuff done.
Me too.
Like if there's something that needs to be worked on, I'm going to go do it. Whether it's fixing a pump at 9 o'clock at night, or running CO2 lines to our bright tanks, or working on the electrical panel that controls kind of the brain of everything in the back. I just love to do.
Yeah.
And that energizes me, because as an introvert, I'm completely fine if I'm going off and doing something on my own and just focusing and knocking things out and knocking things off the list, right? So that's one thing that I'm passionate about. And the other is creating an environment for people that they feel comfortable in and that they want to come back to. Because I've got customers, I've built a really great customer base where some of them have told me this is their safe place.
That's awesome.
You know, they're having a bad day, bad week, and they know that they can come here, have a friendly face, you know, either myself or my staff, and they feel welcomed, and you just see them decompress.
That's awesome.
And that is what makes me happy. I mean, we don't always get it right, and nobody always will get it right, but we try to make it right if something goes wrong. But we try to create that environment for people where they're comfortable. And kind of getting back to our friend that designed the building for us, the outside of the building, we got lucky with COVID with how our building is designed.
Yes.
With the large patio, with all the tables that we could just spread out more than they had been. And even the inside with our 30-foot ceilings and way we could space tables apart and our big fans to keep air moving around. People have said that they have felt more comfortable coming here than other places.
Wow. Through
this last year. And that was just luck on our part.
Wow.
Because we knew that this, a pandemic was coming.
Right.
And, that has helped to keep us afloat and keep us moving. So I think those two things are what I'm passionate about. And, going back to that quote from Oprah, it is about what you want to put energy into, whether you're consciously thinking about it or subconsciously thinking about it. Because I don't necessarily think about what I'm passionate about. I just move.
Yeah.
And that's how it all comes together.
Do you think passion is something that can be cultivated? So I saw one of my friends in the feed said that she doesn't know what she's passionate about. I think is it possible to?
I think if you look at what do you naturally gravitate towards, that will start to tell you.
Okay.
Because like for me, I know that I just gravitate towards action. I gravitate towards moving around, saying hello to folks, checking in on them. And so, like I said at the beginning, I don't think that I'm passionate about something, but somebody else might look at me and say, oh yeah, that's exactly what you're passionate about, because that's what you're focusing on, right? So we might be overthinking it. But I think if you look at what do you naturally gravitate towards, then that's probably where your passion lies. Or if there's something that you think, man, there's always this one thing that I wish I would do, or that I've always wanted to do, but I just haven't, maybe that's worth looking into.
So maybe cultivating it from things that you're curious about, your curiosities, and just kind of not being afraid. I think part of it is that people are always, I saw a quote somewhere about people not wanting to start things because they don't want to have to stop. They don't want to fail. And a lot of people don't start things because they're afraid of the what ifs. Yeah. And if you live life that way, you're going to leave so many stones unturned. And even with your passion, my friend Shannon says, so talking is my passion. Alrighty. She does love to talk. But it might
lots of careers built around that.
It might be. Tracy Nicole, who's up next, says it's what brings you joy. So whatever that thing is, chase it down, or at least just explore it, right? So going back
and thinking about, being afraid to step out there. I mean, building this place was a huge risk, and it still is, because it's us. It's the savings that we've accumulated over the last 10 or 15 years that enabled us to get the funding, the loans to build this place. We don't have deep pockets. We don't have investors. It's us. Right. And so particularly in this past year, I've been on a roller coaster between nervous to scared shitless. okay, this might work out, um, and there are some days when I all I could do was move, because
Yeah.
in moving, then I don't necessarily think
Yep.
about the risk, because at this
Yep.
point you have to keep moving forward. You've got
You do.
to keep working at it, or you just throw your hands up in the air and let go. Um, and the way I've always lived my life is understanding that life is made up of decisions,
Mm.
and you always have to accept the consequences of those decisions. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, and you just have to figure it out, because sometimes you're going to get smacked down and you have to pick yourself back up and make another decision, and hope for, work towards a better outcome. um,
Yep.
and so I guess that's how I've always lived, is thinking about what are the decisions I want to make, how calculated of a risk do I want to take around those decisions, and being open to accepting whatever the consequence is.
Mm.
Um,
How do you talk
so
yourself into that? So I know, into accepting the consequences. How do you talk yourself into that? That's probably the
I mean,
biggest leap that people have to make, or do you just not talk yourself into
yeah,
it? You just go for it.
I mean, I take calculated risks. I
Okay.
mean, so I
What does
know,
that mean? What does that mean?
so I mean, I know enough that if this business fails, right, I would file bankruptcy and I would have to get a different job.
Right.
Okay. So my credit would look horrible for 7 or 10 years, whatever it is now,
Hmm.
right? Is that the worst thing that could happen to me in life?
Right.
Probably not. I mean, it's
Right.
going to hurt. It would really stink, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
It would be
Yeah.
miserable,
Yeah.
challenging for a husband-wife team, right? And who knows what would happen, what the fallout might be there, or how strong we are
Very
as a
true.
couple to last it, right?
Hmm.
But if you can think down the stream of what would the likely outcomes be,
Mm.
outcomes of success, outcomes of, we're making it, but it's not great, and what might we need to do differently to make it better, and, worst case scenario, at least then you can make decisions for yourself and
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah. So start off with something. I'm giving a lesson real fast to my friend Shannon. Start off identifying what brings you joy, the thing that makes you happy. Focus on that. And if you don't have anything, try things that you might be curious about. And then look at the pros and cons of doing that thing or not doing it, right? What would happen if I did? What's the worst thing that can happen? What's the best thing that can happen? Because it's 50-50, right?
Yeah.
And then moving in that direction. Yeah. Yeah, Shannon, that's your action plan for success. We want we want you to come back and let us know what you have identified as something that you're passionate about. We're going to keep you accountable, Shannon. Um, One of the other
No
things that right, no pressure, just get a good beer. Um, One of the other things I wanted to ask about was just sort of your thinking around. So let me back up a bit. So when we were at the brewery, we had a chance we were working very closely. We were behind the scenes looking at everything. And um, Rob talked a lot about sort of how the tap room or the brew house is in metric system. It's all in metric system. It's all in liters. And it took some, time to adjust to that because everything else here is not. It's, our system, the US system of how would you give advice to people for like shifting and adjusting on the spot, in a work environment, in a non-work environment, and making those changes that are required of you to keep doing the thing that you signed on to do? Like that might not have been your choice in the beginning, or when you were planning, you might not have even thought about that when you were planning the brewery, that we're going to do this in metric, or what system you were going to use. But I'm sure it required you to really like think fast and learn and adjust your thinking, just on how to operate that space. Do you have any advice for people who may find themselves in a position where they have to make that hard shift or learn new things?
Yeah. I mean, I think, I think it comes down to having patience with yourself,
Mm.
right? I think back to in my career, I had worked at UPS for 8 years, like knew the business, knew the players within the business, knew which leaders to go to make things happen and to get approvals, that kind of thing. And then I decided to change to another company. And I got frustrated in the first few weeks because I didn't know who to go to. I didn't have the connections. And I had to step back and remind myself that all those connections that I had learned about and made took 8 years when I was at
Wow.
UPS.
Right.
Why should I expect myself to immediately know all those same sorts of things in a new
Mm-hmm.
company, new environment, new leadership team, yada yada. So I think that applies to anything, right? You've got to give yourself some
Mm-hmm.
space, some
Yep.
patience to allow yourself to make whatever transition it is,
Yeah.
whether it's to a
Yeah.
metric system versus the standard, whether it's one job to another, one company to another, one career to another. You've got to give yourself the space to know that you're not going to know everything immediately,
Yep.
and that some
Yep.
of it's going to take some time.
A little bit of grace goes a long
Yeah.
way. You need to open, you have a very cool space upstairs that's being used for a pod for kids right now. But when that's done, you should do some one-on-one coaching and consulting up there. You would be great at it. I feel like a lot of folks got some good stuff from here. We're going to check in with Shannon next week and see if she's done her homework. We are up on our time. That went so fast. I appreciate you hanging in there through the technical difficulties in the beginning and just sharing your wisdom and knowledge with the people on this live and the folks who will hear it after tonight. So
Well,
thank
I
you
appreciate
again.
you and everybody who joined in.
Absolutely. I'll be seeing y'all next week. I think I'm coming by to talk to Rob about our beer. So
Got it. Yeah.
I'll see you soon. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining.
All right.
Oh, and everybody follow her. She's at the Lost Druid. Follow Stacia and her brewery. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, y'all. We're going to transition over to Tracy. Stacia, I think you hit the little X. It may be a little X. I think you got to leave it. I don't know. I don't know anything about this Thank you. She got it. All right, we're gonna bring Tracy on. While Tracy, I see her. Let me go back here and ask her here. Tracy has requested to join. I'm gonna send her a request. Y'all, I hope you have time to refresh your cocktail. Me and Tracy are going to chat it up for the next half of this live. And there she is. What's up,
Hey,
Tracy? How you doing, girl?
I am good. How are
Good,
you?
girl. I'm
We're
good.
we're looking alike right now.
I know we're asymmetric. We're like, pow, cold shoulder. Ooh,
You're
ooh,
black and
ooh.
red.
Yeah. You know I don't have any red. Is that red really? That's like a true red, or is that more
It's a
coral?
true red, and true
It
reds are
is.
hard to find.
Are they? Why?
Yes, yes.
Why are they
I
so
don't
hard to
know.
find? It seems like a standard color, but it's like the variations on the color red.
It's a lot of variations. So finding that true red,
Hmm.
it's a rare find. So when I find it, I jump on it.
I had no idea. You don't have a lot of red in your collection. That is
No.
no,
Mm,
it's not. It's not. Let's back up and introduce you. Tell people who
okay,
you are.
we just jump right in.
I know, because I know you're like, oh, they don't know you. But I know I've been knowing you for 30 years. We'll talk about that too. But tell the people
No,
who you are and
we're
like
not that.
where
We're not that old though.
that's so I was wondering how that math works out. If I've known you for 30 years and we're
Yeah.
only 30 like two, how does that? I don't know the math. Carry the one. That's the new math. Tell people who you are and what you do.
So I am Tracy Nicole. I am a fashion designer based here in Atlanta. I
Mm,
like to
mm,
call
mm.
myself a retail therapist.
Oh,
Yeah,
add that
'cause
to your
that's what I do.
business card.
What
You
I,
do.
yeah,
Retail therapy is real. Ask Amazon.
yeah.
Ask anybody. Ask anybody who was at home during the pandemic and couldn't, do the things that they wanted to do, like go out and shop. You, before the pandemic, already had a very robust online business. But your e-commerce business was strong because you had already thought about,
Well,
taking a physical shop.
Yeah.
and condensing it into an online space, because you used to own a physical location. You owned a shop. The first
For
Tracy
5 years.
Nicole was a
Yeah.
boutique.
Yeah.
Tell the people about it, OG. Tell
Okay.
them about Tracy Nicole Boutique.
So the first big business was the store. And you all remember the store, Tracy Nicole. And little did I know, back then, I didn't know I was the brand.
You didn't. You
No,
didn't. You had a store that said
I had
Tracy
a store
Nicole,
that said Tracy Nicole,
and you sold
and
other people's stuff.
I sold other people's things. And
Mm-hmm.
but so many people became familiar with the brand.
Yep.
It wasn't
Yep.
until I learned that I was the brand that was all she wrote. Like, that's when everything opened up, and my clothing just exploded. I went from having the store to it's time to launch my line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because
And
you went to fashion school.
I did.
People don't know this.
So let's
Yeah.
go back.
Yeah.
Because I
You didn't
started,
just like clothes and be like, I'm just gonna start a clothing
and you
line.
got me looking at this passion thing a little different, because I was
Good.
thinking of it differently until I listened to the first half.
Okay.
And you had me really thinking, what is it that I'm actually passionate about?
Yeah.
Because I started out an occupational therapist.
That's right.
And I was very good at what I did. I was a workaholic, and I was making. So I learned very early that unless you're really, am I frozen?
It's
Okay.
yeah, you're frozen, but I can hear you.
Okay. So
I guess it'll
because
come back.
you got this cute little frozen smile.
Oh,
Okay, there
okay.
you are.
Yeah, you're back too.
Usually people freeze and this
They'd be like,
bad.
you'd be like, what? No, we
That's
look
that,
cute.
that's
We
that
were like,
ADD kicking in. Okay. Shout out to my OT number 13 sister on here,
yes,
Helene.
FAMU. I see a lot of FAMU and scrolling through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I learned very early that if you're not walking in your passion and following your passion, you'll get burnt out and tired real quick.
you will.
And I found myself at the height of my therapy career, director of rehab, overseeing 3 facilities. I was 25 years old. My
Right.
employees were older than me, and I was making the money. I was working 7 days a week, and I thought I was, doing it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and I come home and I'm like, why am I not fulfilled?
Mm.
Why am I not
Mm-hmm.
fulfilled?
Mm-hmm. It was draining you.
Go out and buy a new car, you still, it's not. So I started going to fashion school at night.
At night after a long day already.
Yep. I could work a 10-hour day and still go to school at night. And that let me know, wow, this is what I want to do. So I asked myself the question in your first half, what is it that I'm passionate about? I'm passionate about creating.
Yeah.
I am passionate about creating.
I see that.
Yeah.
That's totally, that's like no shit. But people may think on the surface, oh, she's passionate about fashion, about clothes,
Right.
but that's not it.
Not
It is that may be the outcome. The clothing is the outcome of your creativity, of creating.
I love creating and I love pouring into people.
Yeah.
So the therapist is still in me.
Of course. I never thought about that.
Yeah. So I had to explain that to my mother. That's how I know how to explain it now.
Wow.
My mom is like, I spent all this money sending you to school.
Right.
And, you study for that exam and you got your license and you're not practicing. But I am, just in another way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I find the joy in the smile that comes across your face when you put on my clothing. I find the joy in the little message that I get, like, oh my God, this made me feel so sexy.
Yeah.
Or I love your clothes. Like, that's the joy comes there. And I created that. So it's in the creating and the making people feel good.
Mickey said, Gail. She put some the laughing, crying emoji, because we know, honey, our mamas. Peachtree said, Mama Gail, honey, we know them mamas was like, and you telling me you went to school down there in Florida, and you ain't gonna do what?
I told my mom I was going to be on IG with you on your
Uh-huh.
IG live. And she said, "What? I don't have no Instagram now."
We know, Mama J. We know.
we just got her on Facebook.
Oh Lord, my mom doesn't either. But I found a way to like save them to YouTube and upload them on Facebook so
Oh,
Mom can
cool.
see them. Child, that's the only
Yes,
way because she
my
ain't gonna
Virgo
see it.
mom.
Yes, we have one too. We have a Virgo mom too.
Yeah.
Tracy Nicole Clothing, I feel like celebrates women, and it's Women's History Month, so I definitely want to have you on to talk about that. I think that your clothing celebrates every woman. You did a campaign very recently that showed so many different women wearing your clothing, large, small, tall, short, curvy, whatever. Anyone can wear your clothing. I remember when you first started, folks would comment, can a girl in, size 14 or 16 wear this? And I'm a proud 14, 16. And people may look at the clothing and think that it's not for them, but your clothing, first of all, the fabrics are so forgiving and lush that they're not clingy, and and the way that you cut things,
Yeah.
it's flattering to so many different figures. Tell me about like your thought process behind when you created your brand. What were you focusing on for women?
Initially, when I created my brand, I was thinking about every body type.
Yeah.
And on top of that, everything that women go through.
Mm-hmm.
And I call it those transitions. So every woman goes through a transition, whether they gain weight, whether they lose weight, whether they have surgery, whether they have a baby, whether they get sick, like whether they get in an accident.
Right.
But when you go through a transition, you don't want to buy a whole new wardrobe. So I think about, like, if you look at my collection, there's like a piece for everyone.
Yes.
So there's something fitted, there's something loose, there's something flowy, there's something belted, there's something. So for me, it's like a stylist's dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you should be able to fit any client.
Yep. No matter their where they are in life and their age. I think your clothes can be worn at all different ages, from teen and young adult to a more mature woman. I think that the cuts are so elegant and kind of timeless that it doesn't matter who you are. You can pair this. I've seen you do this. You can pair this. I don't know what this one is called. It's the pocket. Has pockets.
Oh, you have on the Malia. Okay.
This is my favorite.
You have on the Malia.
I love the Malia. You have on which one?
I have on Lisa, but Lisa doesn't have any pockets.
Okay, but it's
and Lisa's flowy.
It's flowy. Yeah, it's like that flowy. But you could pair this with a pair of Air Force Ones.
Yes.
And
or some J's like I have.
Or some J's. You got on J's today. Tracy is a sneakerhead, guys. Tracy is a sneakerhead. She is from Decatur, and them Decatur girls love them some Champs, Foot Locker, Foot Action.
But you listen, before COVID, you never saw me not in a pair of heels. You didn't see me in my sneakers.
But this is my point, is that your outfits can go from J's and ones to a nice heel, a flat sandal, jewel, a stiletto. You can go. It goes so or red bottom. It goes so many different extremes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So let me get back to what I was thinking about too.
I forgot. Yeah, what are we talking about?
I was thinking about when you brought the word timeless. It made me think of it. Showing women that you can be sexy.
Yep.
And still be classy.
Absolutely.
And still feel sexy and look sexy. I think a peak of your shoulder is so sexy. I don't know any man that would argue that.
No, they ain't arguing about that. They ain't arguing about that, child.
The quality of clothing, like I like the idea of buying a piece and bringing it out in 5 years, even bringing it out in 10 years, and it's because it's timeless. People still say, "Where'd you get that?" Oh my, that was the goal. That was the goal. And that is very true. That reached out to me. I still had that Tracy Nicole piece, and I said, I said this on one of my lives the other night. I said, if you have that purple tag, I know you remember
Yes,
that
with the
purple
little
tag, it's gonna be worth some
flower
money one day.
mandala. It
So
sure is.
hold on to it, because that purple tag is where I started. That
I
purple tag with
I
that
got that
first
purple
purple
tag.
logo.
Yep, I got
When
that
I didn't
purple
know
tag.
anything about doing logos, and I learned. Okay, let me.
Honey, let me put some little cursive on here and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I want to get back to the theme of passion real fast because you
Okay.
brought up something that made me think of it, and we were talking about this in the last segment. Is like why it's important to have passion in our everyday lives. Passion, I
In
think,
everything.
everything you
In
do.
everything.
Why do you think that's important?
Well, you get more joy out of it.
Yes,
And I
that's the
I
point.
definitely feel like life is to be enjoyed.
Mm.
And if you enjoy it with me, hey, join the party. If you're not trying to enjoy it, I probably won't be talking to you that much.
Yep.
I don't do pity parties. I don't
No, we don't
do
have time for that. Who has
complaining.
time for that?
But you know what I noticed about me? This is something I noticed.
Mm.
And when someone tells me what they're passionate about or what they want to do, I immediately start thinking about how to help them get it done.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like this instinct in me. And so a lot of people say, don't tell her unless you're ready.
You're a connector. You're a
Yeah.
connector.
It's
Yeah,
just, and so I enjoy doing that. It
yeah,
comes naturally.
yeah. That sounds like also a passion of yours is sort of
Yeah.
connecting people to resources or being that sort of conduit for making other people's dreams come true. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's so
And I
important. We
really
need
enjoy it.
those.
Because I get emails, I get people that reach out and they ask, can they talk to me? Can they ask me a
Hmm.
question? And I'm like, yeah, because I actually enjoy that.
I love
Like,
it
oh, I
too.
don't want to bother you. I literally have people that come into the showroom, like, don't let me bother you. This is what I do for a living.
No, what do you
Like
mean?
they'll
Yeah,
say, oh,
you're at
I want
work.
to try this
At
on, or
work.
I want to get
Yeah.
that. I want to get that. But I don't want to be a bother. You're not bothering me. I promise you're not bothering me.
You're like, this is what I'm in it
This is
for, is
like
to
I
have these this
for a
you
living.
could talk your head off. I could talk your head off
Yeah.
about this shoulder, okay? Or about red. I love your Instagram. You do these whole stories behind colors.
Yeah.
And you go into the theory of the color, the psychology of the color, and you show not just your clothing, but other objects that are in that color story.
The mood.
I love,
It's a
yeah, the mood. Okay, talk about that because I don't think people know what that even means.
okay. So
Besides people like you,
my baby
yeah.
just walked in and she had a phenomenal soccer game tonight.
Yay,
Y'all, I
Chrissy
want to celebrate. Yes,
Poo!
you did. Yes, you
Go, Chrissy. Yes, you did. I heard you did.
did.
Yay.
Okay.
Tracy has two girls. She has two daughters in high school. Chrissy is a soccer player. Kenny is an artist and creative.
Guys,
And Tracy had one of those long days where she texted me at 6 o'clock. Was like, girl, I'm gonna make it right at 7
I'm
because
on the
I'm doing
soccer
this.
field.
I'm on a soccer field. Yes. Yes. A
Okay.
passionate soccer mom because when she posts videos, all you hear is Tracy yelling. You can see Chrissy running, but it's all you hear is Tracy.
Oh my God.
Go, baby!
Look, we're gonna get
That's
back to the
my
topic, but I dropped the
baby.
phone tonight. I dropped the phone.
Did you?
I did.
I'm not
When she
surprised.
scored, I dropped the phone. Okay.
So
So
passion.
I dropped the phone, baby. I'm sorry. Um, okay, we're gonna get back on topic.
We're talking about passion, girl. Just jump in wherever, honey. Do you think it can be created and cultivated? If people don't know what
Absolutely.
their
Oh,
passion is,
we were talking about the colors
that's
because
right. Colors.
colors, miss that ADD a little bit, but
I'm
colors
drinking, so that's why I'm
make
blaming
you
mine.
feel. Colors make
Colors make you
you feel
feel.
a certain way.
Absolutely.
And
They do.
so I study colors when I'm creating a collection.
Okay.
And that's part of my process. And when I'm choosing fabrics, I always want to know what the color meaning is because that meaning goes into the design.
How do you pick what colors? Do you just randomly, do you go to the store, see fabrics you like? Michelle said, my dog, hey, Michelle Arrington, my girls.
Hey,
Do you
Michelle.
go to this fabric store and just see what inspires you, and then that becomes
the story, or do you have a color story in mind when you start a new season and build a collection off of it?
I would be honest with you. Sometimes I'm kind of all over the place, but I will tell you
I'm
what I
not
don't.
surprised. That's Tracy.
Yeah, I will tell you what I don't do. I
Okay.
don't study trends, and I
Right.
don't go with what's popular.
As evidenced by your neon green during the wintertime. I was
Hello.
like, okay, then. I said, I love
And the
that.
first
I
thing I
love
said
that.
was, "Who would do neon green in the winter?"
Nobody. That's a summer color. It's a
Me.
summer color.
I
Right.
stopped asking for permission to
Hello.
do anything when I started this clothing
Girl,
because
listen.
Mickey got her dress on the way. Listen, I
Mickey
can't
said
wait to
that new
see how
lime
Mickey is
dress.
gonna look in this dress.
Got the lime dress that you had on that picture on Instagram when you had that body. I could see
I
your
want to know what
six-pack.
color Mickey got. I know Mickey got the Nina, but I don't know what color she got. So
Was that the Nina that you had on? You had on the cardigan?
Yes.
Tracy. Yes. Girl, you be working out. I see your videos. I seen it through that dress too. I said, look at Tracy looking fine on that.
And tonight I'm drinking alkaline water. I hate to admit that, but it's right
okay.
before my birthday.
Yes, so, it's coming up. You and Michelle Arrington have birthdays close together.
Yes. Shout out to my Aries sister.
Yes.
And Soror.
You working on something for your birthday? You working on a reveal? What we
listen,
gonna see, child?
I started. Do you all know Madison James?
Oh, yes, I do.
MJ, well, I'm gonna mess it up, fitness style.
Yeah.
But shout out to Madison. I started working out with her for my birthday.
Yeah.
And we're doing an intense plan because
in 2 weeks.
I got some goals.
It's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 more weeks. So it started a week ago. So it was a 4-week plan.
That's awesome.
So it includes the meal plans, 5 days a week, no days off. I literally was with Madison before the soccer game.
You got a dress already picked out for that?
I got a bikini already picked out.
Oh, hello.
Shout out to Mickey Fit. Shout out to Mickey Fit.
She said, I got a bikini, honey, as little clothes as possible.
Yes.
I'm not mad at that. So the next question I have for you is, do you think passion can be cultivated? How do you create or find your passion? Some people will understand that they don't know what their passion is. You have any advice for them?
I don't think you can find it by yourself.
I
think you find it, one, either by trying things that you like and gravitate towards the one that makes you feel the most joy.
Yes.
Yeah, because
yes,
if it's stressful, it's probably not your passion.
No.
And then conversations like this helps.
I think so too.
Like get with your group of friends. Like your friends probably know what your passion is before you do. You know how you'll say, "Oh, you should do this."
Yep.
And someone says, "I hadn't thought about that."
I hadn't thought about
but
that.
They do it good all the time.
Yep.
So
yep.
That's my advice. And you can absolutely find it. You can find it at any age. It's never too late. I think so too.
It is never too late. And I think this year of isolating with the pandemic and all kind of forced you really to sit with yourself and think about, what are the things that are what makes me happy? Because so much was up in the air. Mickey said, say it out loud. Mickey said, say it out loud. Whenever your passion is actually giving voice to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Donice had an aha moment.
Did you? What was it? Tell us what your aha moment was, Donice. Spill the tea, girl.
I'll tell you, you said something about being in COVID. COVID, it made me start pouring into my house.
Yes.
Like I started fixing you're not going to recognize my house when you come over.
The kitchen. I can't wait to see the kitchen.
I mean, it went bathroom, kitchen, dining room, basement. So I've been all over the house, but it's kind of because I've been stuck here.
Yep.
So wherever you are, find joy in where you are. And that's the rule of thumb. Wherever I am, I'm going to find joy.
Listen, say that again about where you are.
Wherever you are.
Yeah.
You find joy in where you are.
That's so important.
Yeah. Because you might not be where you want to be. You might not be in the place that you want to be. But it's okay to find joy where you are.
Where you are. And I'm going to put emphasis on you, because a lot of social media makes us compare ourselves to other people's lives. And remember, it's just a life that But it makes you sometimes just compare yourself, and you're not living your own life and your own truth because you are, trying to live up to a standard or an expectation that is not your own.
Well,
And
that would lead me to give you another piece of advice. Don't
okay.
start your day with social media.
Oh, how do you start your day?
I start my day, I literally, I have a conversation with God the first thing.
Okay.
I start my day with gratitude. It's been an intentional thing, and I know a lot of people have heard of that. Probably started with Oprah telling people to do that, but it really does make a difference. And I thank God and I ask Him to guide me.
Yes.
And for me, what that does for me, because I don't know what it would do for you, but for me, what it does, it takes the pressure off. It takes the pressure off, because what I'm saying is I trust you. And for what I'm building, it's so much pressure. And for what I'm building, it is so much pressure. And so every day I have to say that. And then I find something motivational to listen to. And usually it's on YouTube. I might type in motivational speech, and usually it might be 5 minutes, it might be 15 minutes, and it's somebody yelling in my ear, "You got this, you can do this."
You're so crazy, girl.
And I'm telling you, it gets me amped. It's kind of like a boxer. I really do compare it to a boxer. When they're going you got to get in your zone. You cannot get in your zone on social media. So I intentionally do not start my day on social media.
You got
Even
me.
though social media feeds my business. It's 96% of my traffic. And I don't get it. So I pay other people on it.
Yeah.
But you can get an intern.
You can.
That's what these millennials love, being on it.
Absolutely. Give it to somebody who actually likes it. I can't wait to do that. That's my next step.
Yeah. But
that is my next step.
You don't have the budget for it. Get an intern.
Yeah.
Get an intern.
There are ways around it.
There are ways but
around
it's not the way to start your day. And I would challenge you to practice that, like, for 1 week, because social media is addictive.
It is.
And it is physically addictive if you read about it.
Yeah, it
so
changes.
There's a reason why you grab the phone and you go to it. So you have to intentionally not do that. And your phone now tells you your screen time and all that.
Oh, I love that.
So I would
like
someone.
I love that.
Right, Nikki. I keep some.
She does. Tracy keeps her interns now. Okay, I love it. She's been having interns since before everybody else had interns.
Girl,
you have, but that is working smart. You are a smart businesswoman. I have watched you. How old is your daughter? I've been watching you for almost 20 years work on this and create something for yourself.
I'm going to correct you. You haven't just watched me. You have supported me from, oh God, and I'm getting misty because you have literally been there for me from day one. So to have someone believe in me, like, never doubt me, always show up, and you can't pay money to get that. That's the kind of thing that keeps you going. You can't buy that anywhere. So another piece of advice, hold on to the people that believe in you.
Yeah. You have returned that favor.
The trunk shows.
Yeah, I remember the trunk shows.
At the store, I used to look for the faces. It was you, Mickey, Rashawn. I don't care how busy Rashawn was. She would have 5 jobs.
She did keep a job
there, but she's gonna pop her head in.
Yep.
And that never went unnoticed. And then it becomes, I have a duty to be great for y'all motherfuckers that showed up for me.
Hello. Hello, Depot East Side. That's our homeboy Chad. Too beautiful.
Chad up in here.
Chadwick. He'll never come on social media. I don't know how he found out about
reunion.
this. I don't know how he found out about this. He don't ever come on here.
Chad,
Listen,
Jenny got me tearing up.
Tracy,
Hey, now I know Chaz is elementary school.
you have known him for long as you've known me. The
Yeah.
thing about it though, Tracy, is that you have returned that. And that is the beauty about real friendship, is that we just pour back into each other. Nobody's cup ever goes empty because someone is there to pour into you every step of the way. And I had the same experience with y'all supporting me through this. You know, things have been so rough, and
Following your dream is not easy.
it's not. It is
It's
one of the
not
hardest
easy.
things you'll ever do. That's why people don't do it.
Absolutely.
It's embarrassing if you mess up and if you fail. It's terrifying every single day. Something scares the shit out of me every day. But my prayers overpower that, or my faith overpowers that. But it's the truth. I am nervous about something almost every day. And then, like you were saying, or Stacia was saying earlier, she's a doer. I just keep piling stuff on top. I'm trying to open a store still the second time around because the first one didn't open.
I am
but
opening a store.
I am opening a store. I'm
Okay.
working on that.
Our language is powerful. Our words are powerful.
It absolutely is. I don't know why. I normally don't talk like that, but I am opening a store. Yeah. But I also am,
because it's been rough. Your testimony is
oh my God,
great. But you got to go through that to get the testimony.
You have to. You got to go through the test to get to the what? The testimony. Okay. But it is not hard. I mean, it's not easy. This stuff is hard, and you commit to it every day. Every day you wake up, you just say, "Okay, I'm just gonna do this again."
Not for the week.
It is not for the week.
Just from experience, a lot of times you want validation from other people. You want other people to tell you what you're doing is great. And what happens is you get opinions from the wrong people. And so you can't talk to everyone about it.
You can't
talk to everyone about it, and you can't believe what people say. Like, I mean, in the beginning, you know, I put pressure on myself trying to follow a designer schedule, trying to design off season. My brain does not work like that. And so when I said I stopped asking people for permission, like I was told I couldn't do a raw edge on my clothes. And
that's a trademark of yours.
That's my thing. Yeah. But I stopped doing it when I was told I couldn't do it. You can't do. So this is what I have learned. When someone tells you you can't do something, take it as a compliment and do it, because it hasn't been done. That's what they're really telling you.
That's what they're telling you.
That's what they're really telling you.
They don't have the evidence.
So they put their fear on you.
So you create the evidence.
Yes.
You show them that it can be done.
So 2 weeks ago, I dropped a dress because I felt like it.
You sure did. And it sold out in hours.
Yes.
And you texted me to get it, and I did, and it was gone. It was a double-sided reversible dress, guys.
Yes.
Yes, I ain't get it. She gonna do it again when she gets some more random fabric. I know. Tracy told me. She told me the inspiration behind that. She just found a very small amount of a cool-ass fabric and was like, I'm just gonna do what I want to do and just drop a random piece into it is not a line. It's just what I'm dropping today.
It wasn't an occasion.
It was just because.
And I find joy in that. I find joy in creating my own rules. And really
creating your own rules.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. And I'm saying this to whoever needs to hear it. If you want to do it, give yourself permission to do it and just do that shit. That's it.
Drink my beer on
That's it. Drops the mic. I'm gone.
Listen, on that note,
that's all you need.
That is all you need. That is all.
That's all you need.
Listen, we could talk forever.
I know.
We've gone over 8. It's 8:03. We're gonna let the people go on a little bit. I just wanted to ask. I
like how you keep on your time.
Oh, you know I'm strict. I'm a project manager, and I'm tired. But also, I try to keep it, like I promise people stuff. But before we
signs back there. Mm-hmm.
What you say?
My kids are holding signs.
What they saying?
Let's go get some food.
Tell them we getting off in 1 minute. Yeah. Tell the people how to follow you, how they can get your clothing. And how we can keep up with Tracy Nicole.
If you want to know like the real deal behind the scenes, follow me at Tracy Nicole ATL, which is what I'm on right now. And if you hit that little arrow at the top, it drops down and you can follow me. If you want to check out the clothing and just the clothing and inspiration behind the clothing, follow Tracy Nicole Clothing and the sister line, Simple by Tracy.
Love it, love it,
And I
love it.
promise you'll be inspired by all three, actually.
Absolutely. I think so too. Listen, everyone who has joined me as a speaker, so you and Stacia today are getting a digital gift card to Duchess Cosmetics. She has partnered with me every week. I'm wearing Firestarter today, so I'll send you your gift card when we get off of this live.
Makeup?
Girl, I didn't know that, but Duchess gonna hook you up. And before we leave, I want you to pick a number between 1 and 13 because I'm gonna pick the winner of this week's giveaway.
It has to be between those numbers.
I know, and 13 is your number. It could be 1 or 13 or anywhere in between. I'm assuming you're going to pick 13.
Helene's still on here. What number should I pick?
Okay, listen. What would I 13. You're going to pick 13. So actually, I knew you was going to pick that number. Number 13 is my girl, Bougie Beer Girl. So she won the giveaway this week. Hell's Perks at 13. We knew that was going to happen. So number 13, that is my girl, Bougie Beer Girl, a.k.a. Kiana, is going to get the Duchess Cosmetics giveaway. Tracy, this has been so fun, so nice. I could talk to you forever. And you weren't even drinking because you're on that alkaline because you're going to be fine for your birthday.
That means we got to do it again.
We will. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Go take those babies to get something to eat.
Thank you.
And I love you.
Thank you for having me,
love you. Thank you for joining me here.
I love you.
Absolutely. I love you too. And thanks to everyone for being here.
Thank you guys for coming on.
Absolutely. I hope y'all join me here next week. I'm going to be talking to Rashawn Ali and the co-CEO of Crowns and Hops, Benny Ashburn, here on Beer Biz BS. That is the last show of March because this was just a March thing. And I had 2 guests every week for a total of 8 for the month of March. So I packed it in. I thank y'all for being here, and I'll see y'all here next week. Y'all have a good night.
Great job,
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, boo.